I don't think any of us go home at the end of the day and say, honey, let's have a conflict tonight. But we need to understand the positive aspects of conflict. So I'm going to share with you my top 10 list. Number one is conflicts make us more aware of problems within our relationship that need to be resolved. We can't read each other's minds, and I don't think we'd want to either. I think that would be kind of creepy. And number two is that conflicts encourage change. Someone is dissatisfied. Something that we planned isn't working out the way we hoped. So we need to have that conversation. Number three is that conflicts energizes and increases motivation to deal with the issues and the problems. It's the stress response. It's the fight and flight mechanism kicking in that gives us the energy to blurt out what's concerning us or what seems to be a problem in the relationship. Number four, conflicts make life and work more interesting. Did you ever have that day where you woke up and realized, wow, people don't think the way I think? It's kind of humbling in a way. Number five is better decisions are generally made when there's conflict. One of the things that we always need to fight in teams and in groups and when we're in a leadership position are really the three complements of communication. The first one is recognition. Let's say sometime over the next couple of months I see you at an event and I go, hey, I know you, and hey, I know you. Recognition feels pretty good. Acknowledgement is we stop whatever we're doing and we engage in a conversation. That's a greater compliment because the relationship now is much more important than what I was doing. And the greatest compliment in communication is endorsement, where somebody says, you know what, you're right. Oh, that feels good. Kind of like when you have a scab and you scratch it. Oh, that feels good. Or is that just me? Anyway, conflicts usually involve discussions about strengths and weaknesses, what's good about the idea, what's bad about the idea. But in those discussions, usually better decisions are made when there's some disagreement. And then, of course, number six is conflicts reduce the day-to-day irritations of working with each other. It's kind of like a pressure release valve on a water heater. When we've had it up to here, we let off the pressure. Might have to apologize for your manner and your word choice, but it sure feels nice to get it off your chest. Number seven, conflicts help you understand what you are like as a person. What really are your values? What really are your ideals and principles in which you make your decisions? What are some of those moral arguments in a way that you need to make and the logical conclusions that you're trying to reach? So it really helps us kind of sort out what we think and how we feel when it comes to those issues we face at work. And conflicts can be fun if we don't take them too seriously and don't take ourselves too seriously. I always recommend that if you're on a team or if you're in a group that's trying to resolve conflict, that you really see yourself as a consultant, to step back and from a bird's eye view observe what's going on. And if you're an outside consultant, what would you recommend? What questions would you ask and what suggestions would you make? So I would ask you to become a good failer in a way. I love being a consultant. I walk into organizations and I say, what you're doing there, I've seen other organizations do it this way, you might want to consider that. You know what you're doing, I used to do that, but if I did it this way, it would save about 5 minutes every hour, so it'd be, 3 hours maybe and at the end of the week. And what you're doing over there, stop that, and then I leave. So I care, but not that much. And sometimes when you're on a team, you might not have the votes, but you want to make sure you ask questions, make suggestions, fail, ask questions, make suggestions, fail. I'm encouraging you to become a good failer. Not failure, but failer. Ask questions, make suggestions, and fail. Because this may not be the idea we need right now, but it might be exactly what we need a month from now or a year from now. We want to make sure we get those creative ideas out in the open and get them recorded so we can grab them later when we need them. And number 9 is conflicts can deepen and enrich a relationship. You might be somewhere, maybe at an auction, an estate sale, or somewhere in your neighborhood at a garage sale, and there might be 50 people there, and you look around and don't know anyone. Then you see someone from work that you've had a conflict with. Oh, you can feel the depth in that relationship. There's an emotional energy that's been invested in that relationship, and if it's been handled well, it will strengthen the relationship. And finally, conflicts also can lead to growth and development as an individual and in our relationships. So we're going to move on in this breakout session to engage in some conflict and recognize and identify what your conflict resolution style is.